Hey everyone, Cedric from Vertex Marketing Agency, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite Google Analytics 4 report. So that's actually a report that is not a standard report. It's something that you have to create in the Explorer tab, but don't worry guys, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. But it's a really good report for e-com companies, but also service-based companies. And what it is, it's really just a report showing all the important steps in your funnel, and you can now track where the biggest drop off is. So let's say you're an e-com company and you're probably your steps are maybe the landing page view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, add payment info, and then purchase. So those would be all the different steps. And now you can see maybe where is your bottleneck, where's the biggest drop off, so that you can go and try to improve that, right? Maybe you try to improve it with the creatives, or maybe you actually try to improve it with your landing page, which that's probably what I'd recommend. And that's actually why I really love this report, because it's perfect for A/B testing your landing page. Because right now, let's say you make a change on your landing page, right? I don't know, you're changing the headline, maybe you're changing the picture on your website. You're most likely, especially if you have an e-com store, you're most likely, or your software is most likely only going to track like how is the conversion rate on that page, but how does that convert to all the other important steps like add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, right? So those are all different things that you want to track and see when you're changing the headline, let's say on that landing page, does it not only help with going to the next step, but does it actually also help with all the other steps down your funnel? So that's what I'm saying. Those are really important things to track and to also visualize. And then that's actually something you can do with that report. But with that being said, I'm actually just going to go inside my GA4 account now, and I'm going to show you exactly how to create it. And I'm sure after I do it, you're probably going to see a bunch of other use cases of using that report, and feel free to share it in the comment section. But let's get into my GA4 account. Okay, so I am now inside the demo account that Google Analytics 4 gave me, and you can also get one. I think you just need to apply for one, but this is actually perfect, well, for making videos just like this, but to also just test out what are all the different features inside GA4, because sometimes when you have a new account, I mean, you don't have a lot of data, right? So it's a little bit hard to really fully test all the different features that GA4 has to offer. But here, and then if I click also on reports here, those are all like my predefined reports. And those are good, you know, if you want to just take a look at your revenue, maybe the amount of leads that you're generating and where's your traffic from. But if you want to do something a bit more advanced, you most likely need to go inside the Explorer tab. And that's exactly what we're going to be working on today. So I'm going to click on the blank option here. And like I've said earlier in this video, or it's possible that I didn't make that super clear, if I click on technique here, we actually want to choose the funnel exploration, because what we're doing is we're building a funnel, right? So we're telling GA4, here are all the important steps that we're tracking. Now go ahead and show me where the drop off is for each step. So I selected funnel exploration. Now this just showed up. So it's called steps. And we just need to tell GA4 what are all the important steps for this company. So I'm going to pretend that I'm setting this up for an e-com company, but if you have a service-based company, that's fine. It still works really, really well. You just want to map out what are all the important steps in your company, right? So for an e-com company, it would be maybe like view content. And I'm going to pretend that, let's say someone clicks on my Facebook ad, I send them directly to a product page. That's why we're going to start with the view content or view item event. And then after that, it would be like an add to cart. You have initiate checkout, add payment info, purchase. For a service-based company, it might be like when they visit that specific URL, which is your landing page, and then maybe on the next page, even you have an opt-in form with the VSL, right? So you want to map out all your different steps in your funnel, and then after that, you're gonna be able to visualize the data. But let's start with the steps here. So I'm gonna start with view item, and I'm gonna click on event, and I'm gonna say view item here. I'm just gonna search it. It's gonna be faster. So view item right here. So that's the first step. Now, usually I don't send like traffic directly to my product page. I'm just setting it up this way because it's a little bit easier and it's just a demo, but probably you would want to start with your landing page or wherever that you're sending the traffic to. So let's say you're running Facebook ads or Google ads and you're sending them to maybe your homepage, and then you would want to add your homepage here, because you want to start with, well, the first step is wherever your traffic is landing on. And it's important to add that as a first step, because you want to see if from them moving to the initial page to, let's say, this other page or to the product page, if that's a bottleneck. Because if it is a bottleneck, then you want to be able to improve that process. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in this video. But that's my first step. I'm going to add another step, and I don't know, this I'm going to call that add to cart. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna click on events, and I'm gonna click add to cart. Now, if you're noticing here, I'm selecting events. So it's possible that for you, you might not be selecting event because maybe you're not sending like those types of events to GA4. Maybe you're starting with your home page. So maybe instead you wanna select like page location right here, and you want to put in like a URL. So, you see when this page contains, I don't know, let's say this, then that means that they are on my VSL page, or they are on this specific page, right? So it kind of depends on the way you've built your website. But in this specific example, I'm setting this up for an e-com company. So usually we'll have the view item, add to cart, initiate checkout, all that fun stuff. And if you're a Shopify user, you should be able to have all of that just because you're using native integration. If you want to watch a video on how to set up the native integration, then I actually made one, I think last week. So I'll leave that link in the description of this video. And if you are not a Shopify user and you need to connect your website to GA4, I've made other videos showing you how to do that with Google Tag Manager. Again, I'll leave that link in the description of this video. But I'm just going to change this to an event, and it's actually going to be add to cart. Now, I was playing with this earlier before I started to record, and for whatever reason, the initiate or the begin checkout event is not working here. So I'm actually just going to skip it. But I'm not the one that set up the tracking. I'm assuming maybe something is off, or maybe because this is just like a demo store, I don't know, maybe there's no initiate checkout event. I'm not sure, but usually if you're using a Shopify like integration, or if you've set up all the events yourself, like you're gonna see it here. So I'm just gonna move it to add payment info just so we can see some data when we're visualizing it. So I'm just gonna say add payment info. I'm gonna go to advanced right here. But again, just to be clear, like usually if I'm setting this up for an e-com store, like we're gonna see the initiate checkout event like before the add payment info, because that step usually happens before. Now here I'm gonna say purchase, and we're gonna say event purchase right here. So perfect, that's it for my steps. Now you can play with this. You can say, hey, yeah, it directly needs to follow by this event, or indirectly follow. You can also add like a time. So hey, this event like only include the people when they trigger this event, and then in the next 5 minutes they need to trigger this event. I'm just gonna leave that open for now. This is a demo, and honestly most of the time I just leave it open, but if you want to play with it, you can. Now we're gonna see something like this, and then the goal here and how I use this report is I look at where's the biggest bottleneck, right? So I look here and I can see, okay, well, when they view my product page, so that means when they're landing on my product page, obviously 100% of users are gonna land on a product page, right? Because if they're clicking my ad, they're landing on this product page. So that's fine, I don't care about that. What I care about is like how many of them land on the product page and add something to the cart. Well, we can see there's a 34% completion rate. And then at this point, what you can do is you can look at industry average and see if that's good, but you can also just continue down and say, okay, well, this one says 34%, this one says 48%, this one says 47%. So we can see the biggest drop off is here. So most likely what I would do is I'd probably start with that. So I would look at this page here where my product is, and I would say, okay, well, how can I improve that conversion rate? The conversion rate is someone viewing the product to actually adding it to the cart. Maybe on that page, it's a simple image of the product, and it doesn't contain like an image of, let's say, a model or an actual person holding the product. Well, okay, well, let's try to add that in. Maybe the headline is not good. Maybe they don't have reviews. Maybe they don't have an FAQ. There's a long list of things that you could potentially probably add to that page to make it better. And that's basically what we want to do, right? You want to generate ideas, then you want to test them. And then after that, you can use this report to visualize it and see if it was a good test or a bad test. And when I'm making a test, I'll usually only change one variable. So I'll change the product image, I'll change the headline, or maybe I'll add like a review section to the page, but I'm not doing all the above for the same test. So I'll have the original version, which is the current page. I'm not changing anything. And then on that page, I'm gonna send 50% of the traffic to that page. The other 50%, they're gonna see the variant one. So that's gonna be like my variant one. And then it could potentially be just, like I said, like maybe I change the headline. Maybe it's as simple as changing the background color on the add to cart button. I'm not sure, but it's only one thing at a time. And then again, I use this to understand if it was a good idea, if it's a bad idea. And let's say by adding a review section on my product page, it actually was able to help with the conversion rate. And now the biggest bottleneck is actually from add to cart to add payment info. Okay, well, now I work on that. What are some things that I could add to my website to improve that. And that's how I use this report. So you almost want to picture it this way. Pretend there's like a big level sitting on the top of this square all the way to the bottom square right here. And right now the level is like this, and you want it as straight as possible. Obviously it's never going to be perfect, but you want to aim for that. And that's what you want to do. So you want to see where's the biggest bottleneck. Let's improve that. And you improve it by A/B testing your landing page. And for A/B testing, there's a lot of different tools that you can use. There's tools specific for Shopify, there's tools for WordPress, there's tools that will work on no matter the CMS platform you're using. But most likely if you're doing that, you're gonna wanna use one of those tools. Google Optimize used to be my favorite option, but it doesn't exist anymore. So you're gonna probably have to find a paid tool to do that. But you do the A/B testing with the tool, and then you use this report to understand if it was a good test and a bad test. And another reason why I like this report is a lot of A/B testing tools will only show you the conversion rate on the page that you're testing. So especially like that for like service-based companies. Well, it's gonna say, okay, well, make those changes and we'll show you how many more leads you got by making those changes. Or with e-com stores, it's like, okay, well, here's how many more purchases you got when you made that change, which that's great. But I also like to know, I like to know that how many more leads or how many more purchases we're getting, but what was the difference on each step? And that's what you're able to achieve with this report, right? With this report, you can see, okay, well, we made the change on the view item page, right? On the product page. Actually, when we make this test, we saw an increase in conversion rate, but when it comes down to add payment info to purchase, now we actually saw a big decrease when we implemented, I don't know, whatever on the view item page. That's interesting. So you see how using a tool that only shows you like the conversion rate improvement on that specific page versus a tool like what I'm showing you that's going to show you not just the conversion rate improvement on that specific step, but all across your funnel can be really useful. But guys, that is it for this video. So this is my favorite GA4 report. Hopefully you've learned something new. And if you have, make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'll keep releasing a bunch of these GA4 videos because I do believe that I have a lot that I could potentially share with you guys. But guys, that is it. Bye for now.